5 months. 5 months had gone by, and you would have thought Chase would be used to it by now. The kissing and hugging, the cute giggles and laughs, the sight of him going out and enjoy a date, or watch the stars under a blanket. All this time, and Chase still hated it. Oh, he pretended it and didn't bother him. When Marshall and Sky announced they were dating, he cheered for them publicly, but privately, he cussed and cried. When Marshall came to him for dating advice, he could have sabotaged him, but he didn't out of love for his friends. When Sky told him one patrol that being with Marshall was being the best thing that ever happened to her, he didn't growl or yell, but calmly nodded. When the others said they were cute together and the town congratulated two heroes getting together, Chase just stood there, watching and hurting every second of it. It should have been me. That was the one thought that ran through Chase's head during every single moment he saw them together. It should have been him. He loved Sky. He adored her. He wanted her more than anything in this world. And now she was Marshall's. He should be happy for them. They were his best friends. The three of them were Paw Patrol for a year before the others joined. It should be me. Should be what? Chase snapped out his thoughts, turning away from the sight of Sky and Marshall playing tag. Looking towards Walkie, who was using his custom-made leaf sucker to pick up the autumn leaves. The recycling pup said, You said it. It should be me. What do you mean? I mean, I should be picking up the leaves. You do it all the time. I should be a good friend and help you out, replied Chase quickly. Oh, thanks, Chase. Walkie wiggled his body until the leaf circle was off his back. I needed a break anyway. I owe you one. Sure, replied Chase as he took it upon himself and put on the equipment. Think you can tune up my police car this weekend? I think the brakes need work. No problem. See you at supper, replied Walkie as he walked away. Chase grumbled as he got to work by activating the leaf circle with a bark, and started lowering his front body to reach down. While working, he kept his eye on Marshall and Sky, who had just tackled the Dalmatian and given him a kiss, one that he replied with a passionate kiss of his own. The very sight of seeing him so-called best friend locking lips with the girl of his dreams made Chase want to walk over there and whip them off. He didn't want to admit it, but he knew deep down in his heart it was his own fault. He kept his own crutch close to him for a long time. Nobody knew of it. Not Ryder, not the pups, and not even Marshall. He never once thought of the idea one of his friends had feelings for Sky as well, especially his best friend. Marshall never once made it obvious that he had feelings for Sky. Not in all these years. They had been together. However, what hurt that the most was Sky's feelings for Marshall. It hadn't just been spur of the moment thing. She confessed to having them for a long time. It had always Marshall, never Chase, never him. He saw the two separate before kissing each other goodbye on the nose and heading in opposite ways. Marshall, with a big goofy smile on his face, walked over to Chase, who did his best look normal and not utter a rage filled deep inside of the pup in front of him. Hey Chase, I thought Walkie was doing the leaves. I thought I'd take over for him. You know to be a good friend, huh? Good friend and all, replied Chase with a lie. Marshall nodded. That was nice of you. But then again, you're the nicest pup in the world. Come on, I am not, whispered Chase, blushing. No, I'm serious. You're always there to help us with anything, replied Marshall with a friendly lick on his cheek. In fact, I owe you for helping me confess to Sky. If you didn't tell me to go for it and be brave. Don't mind me, replied Chase in his head, but he continued to smile. Well, I guess you can repay me by being the best papa at your wedding. Marshall quickly turned red and stuttered. Don't watch into things like that. Chase faked a laugh and shrugged him a little extra hard on the shoulder. I'm just kidding. I'm happy for you, Marshall. Thanks, Chase. Hey, maybe I can repay the favor of you helping find a girl. Everest is still free, replied Marshall. Sorry, but she's not my type, replied Chase. The only one I ever wanted you stole from me. Well, when you do find a girl, let me know. I'll be happy to help, replied Marshall with a loud yawn. I'm gonna get some sleep before dinner. See you. Chase waved goodbye before squalling when Marshall wasn't looking. Damn it. I shouldn't be acting like this. They're my best friends in the whole world. I should be happy. But why can't I? He continued to suck up the leaves until his nose picked up a faint scent, including that was the place he had buried something. There were technically scents all over the place, but this one made Chase pause. Something about this one was calling him. Taking up the leaf sucker, he decided to dig. In a few minutes, he found what it was and tilted his head. A dead hen? No, wait. He took it out with his teeth and spit it out. Isn't this that monkey's paw I got during the summer? He remembered because it was hard to get a feeling of meeting the old dog that gave him the creeps. She said something about granting wishes, but I don't. Wait. Chase paused and looked closely at it. One of the fingers, the pinky one, was folded. Didn't she say the finger was folded when you made a wish? But I didn't remember wish. Eyes widened. He realized he didn't make a wish while holding it. He wished Marshall would get together with his crush. The next day, Marshall confessed, and Sky returned his feelings. Could it be? Did the wish come true? No, that's impossible, said Chase, shaking his head. Wishes don't come true like that. It's just a coincidence. Yeah, there was a thought in Chase's head. What if this did something? What if it made Marshall and Sky fall in love? Does that mean it wasn't real? If there's no choice involved, doesn't mean it was forced love? Was it all a lie? He stared at the monkey's paw, torn for what he should do. Chase ate his dinner fast and kept conversation to a medium. Thankfully, nobody asked questions and was able to return to his pup house. Seeing he was turning in early, when he was sure nobody was looking, Chase ordered the pup house door to be shut, leaving him alone. He stared at the monkey's paw that he hid inside before eating, wondering if he should use it again or not. Maybe I need to test it out. Give a wish to see if it comes true or not. He could wish for money to help the Paw Patrol pay for better gear and equipment. There was also gaining superpowers to becoming a superhero to fight crime. He could ask world peace to end all suffering around the world. Heck, I can't even wish I was present. He had the only thing that continued to linger in his head was his previous wish. Could I revisit? If the magic of the paw brought his best friends together, could it separate them as well? Sky would be free to patrol again, but Marshall would be heartbroken. Do I have the right to do that to my best friend? He's so happy. He closed his eyes, growling. Damn it! What am I thinking? I can't do this. He couldn't. Not to either of them. When it was past midnight, Chase didn't could have put down the monkey's paw. It was like it was tempering him to use it in his mind. No matter which he wanted to do, all that All that went to his head was the idea of splitting Montreal and Sky apart. Deep down, he wanted to do it. However, he knew this was one in every level. Decided to get some air, he put the monkey's paw down and decided to walk around the area for a bit. The moon was shining in his head as he sounds of his friends snoring peacefully in their dreams echoed in the air. He walked down where the small pail they had was, only to see two figures already there. He quickly hid behind a bush and narrowed his eyes, focusing on the two figures. And that was none other than Sky and Montreal. He quietly sat there watching the sea before them. It's beautiful, replied Sky, sighing. Watching the moonlight water makes me relax. It's even better having a beautiful pup like you to watch it with, replied Montreal, allowing Sky to muzzle him. Hey Sky. Yes? Asked the cockapoo, tilting her head. Why do you feel in love with a pup like me? Asked Montreal, rubbing his neck. I'm not exactly the bravest, nor most brave. I'm most balanced. Heck, I'm an in some ways. Why do you follow somebody like Chase? Sky paused no pause before replying. To be honest, I kinda did have a thing for Chase early on. Chase's eyes widened. But it didn't seem like he was interested, replied Sky before smiling at her boyfriend. So I turned my attention to you. Plus, there are some traits you have that Chase doesn't. How? Besides pup food and running, Chase is better on me in everything, replied Montreal, tilting his head. He doesn't have the kindness that you give, replied Sky, smiling. While Chase is passionate about being a leader and keeping people safe, you're passionate about keeping people happy and helping others outside of duty. You always have a smile that he doesn't. Sky sighed. I'm sure under Chase I will be happy, but I think with you I will be happier. Sky, replied Montreal, smiling. I actually didn't think I could confess to you. If it wasn't for Chase, he's a great friend. Yeah, he is, replied Sky, looking at the moon. I'm glad he helped us get together. We really owe him one. Maybe we could name a kid after him, asked Montreal with a laugh, making Sky blush. I was kidding. I wouldn't mind, replied Sky, lowering her head by smiling. When we were older, maybe. Chase slowly began to walk away. He didn't want to hear Montreal embarrassed talking about how early was to think of that, or how Sky was just teasing him. He walked back to his pup house and held out the monkey's paw in his paws. I wish Montreal and Sky were no longer together. And with that, the second finger folded. It had been 2 days since Chase made the wish, and he was starting to wonder if he really was just kidding himself. Nothing interacted that Montreal and Sky were having relationship problems. No sign of one or the other losing interest. They were still happy as can be. I knew that thing was a bunch of baloney, thought Chase as he stared at the couple playing tug-of-war against Zumon Rubble. Maybe I should just accept the fact that I'm never gonna have Sky. Hey Chase, you alright? Asked Walkie, walking over towards the police pup who grumbled a hello. You seem really grumpy today. Everything okay? I'm fine, replied Chase, closing his eyes. I just didn't get enough sleep last night. Well, if you're sure, replied Walkie, shrugging as he started to walk away before he paused and sighed. Does this have anything to do with Montreal and Sky being together? Chase's eyes went wide open as he slowly turned to Walkie, who gave him a look that said, Don't lie to me. The German Shepherd opened his mouth to deny it, but sighed and whimpered. How long? To be honest, I noticed and noticed it's only recently. You always look spaced out when you staring at them, even on missions," answered Walkie as he sat down beside his friends. Did you like Sky too? Chase nodded his head. Wow, I guess that explains a lot. Your behavior and all, I mean, a long time? Chase nodded again. I see. Why him and not me? Asked Chase, shaking his head. I don't want to keep thinking this, but I can't help but ask it every day. What's it about him that she likes? Well, he's funny, kind, loves to play a lot. I don't know. Other than I guess it was just meant to be, asked Walkie, shrugging. I never been in love, so I want to know what to say. He then stared at Chase with a worried look. You aren't gonna do anything drastic, are you? I already did. Didn't do anything, replied Chase, not bothering to mention the Marquis' paw still in his pup house. No, I'm just gonna get used to it. That's a mature thing to do, Chase, said Walkie, nodding with approval. That's when the pup tags lit up as Ryder's voice followed suit. Paw Patrol to the lookout! Ryder needs us! Shouted the pups as he watched over to look at with excited howls in the air. Chase quickly put away his feelings to focus on the mission to come. If there was only one thing Chase could do, it was to put Martians away for the sake of them. They all managed to get inside, but Marshall, Laz as always, managed to trip from walking too fast. Whoa! Shouted Marshall as he tumbled inside. Look out! Shouted Zuma, but it was too late as they were all balled over. Chase flew up in the air before landing hard on some pup. That said pup happened to be Sky, who was looking at him with her beautiful eyes as he stared back right on top of her. He froze in place upon seeing the lips roll close to each other, to the point that you could smell a scent from her mouth, mixing with mantras from the previous kiss. For a second, all the time seems to freeze, as he felt more at peace at the moment than he had in the past few months. Hey, get your own girlfriend, giggled Marshall as he playfully put Chase off. Chase shook his head, almost ready to snap at Marshall for ruining that moment, until he quickly realized where he was. Well, I was just keeping her warm for you. Thanks, but let's try a freeway when we're older, teased Sky with a wink that made all the boys blush and snicker. Who knows Sky had a dirty mind, replied Wobble, laughing as the elevator went up. Comes with hanging around you boys all day, started Sky as the elevator stopped halfway. Staying in place, they waited as the lockers opened, revealing their uniforms, which were carried by claws in their own machines. They each stood still, only moving when necessary, as the mechanical limbs helped them put on their respective clothing. Instead of his normal police uniform, Chase was receiving his super spy outfit, which was only used in specific missions. Usually getting your special outfit was a sign that you were on the mission. He wasn't the only one, as Marshall was getting his AT outfit too. Afterwards, the next set of lockers opened, revealing their pup packs. Both Chase's super spy pup pack and Marshall's AT pup pack were among the normal ones. Once the equipment was hooked up, the six waited for the elevator to continue upward, where they soon reached to the top. Doors opening, they jumped in and stood in proper order as straight as they can be. The faces attention. Chase, placing his paw on the floor, replied, Paw Patrol ready for action, Ryder, sir. Thanks for coming, pups. We got a few lost people in the woods today, replied Ryder as he pressed his pup pad, casting a big TV screen to appear. It showed a family of four walking for trees happy. A family by the name of Jonathanson was taking a nature walk when they come across a bear. Angry bear suddenly appeared in front of the family. They are scattered in different directions. The four of them fled, but they got separated along the way. The father was currently with Jake and Everest, who reported what's going on. Is that bear still in the area, Ryder? Asked Sky, looking worried. We don't know, but it's best but it's best to be cautious just in case. Someone could could end up getting hurt. Replied Ryder. Remember, you just need to stay still when dealing with a bear or play dead to make it go away. Like this? Blah. Wobble flied on his back, making a funny face with his tongue sticking out, much to the most amusement of the rest. Kinda like that, Wobble. Only a bit less funny. Laughed Ryder before clearing his throat. For this mission, I'll need... Chase's pup tag appeared on the screen, making him puff out his chest. Chase, addressed Ryder. I need your tracking skills and spy drone to help search for the missing family members. Spy Chase is on the case. I also need, continued Ryder as Sky's logo came next. Sky, your helicopter can be used to spot our missing targets from above. Use your goggles to report anything you see below. Yep, let's take to the skies, cried out Sky doing her signature backflip. Last I need Marshall. The Dimensions logo was next. They can be injured or hurt from running in the forest. We can make sure they're good health when we find them. I'm ready for rough rescue, replied Marshall, following with a bark. Everest and Jake will also be helping in the search, while the rest of you pups stay here just in case you need it. All right, Paw Patrol is on a roll, chided Ryder as he marched towards his pole and the others barking excitement. Once he was down the sliding pole, Chase, Marshall, and Sky all watched towards the slide in the proper order. Chase hollering as he slid down, watched as the spy cruiser switched with his police cruiser from a hidden platform below as he placed in front of the slide. Jumping in the air, he landed in the seat and activated his vehicle mode, allowing him to switch his pup house into his spy cruiser. Driving to his side, he watched as Marshall slipped in his fire truck, as always, and Sky landed in the vehicles. Sky quickly took to the skies while Marshall went left and Chase went right, following Ryder on his ATV as they went across the bridge towards the direction of the forest. In 45 minutes, the Paw Patrol arrived just outside of Jake's cabin when they said order Everest and a baldy man with a mustache who looked worried. Jake walked over and gave Ryder a salute. Glad you dudes could make it. We were just about to start looking. Good thing we just arrived then. You must be the father, Mr. asked Ryder. Jonathan, my name is Daniel Johnson, replied the man, shaking Ryder's hand. You have to find my wife and 2 kids. They go by the name of Esther, Donald, and George. I just come from the western side of the forest, and there wasn't anyway there. They must be in the other areas. Let's split up and search for the separate areas, commanded Ryder as he turned to his pups. Chase, you head up north. Jake and Everest can head south. I'll take the eastern area. Sky, you can cover the skies while reporting anything that catches her eye. What do you want me to do, Ryder? Asked Marshall. Just wait here with our guests unless we need you. Everyone ready? They all cheered. Then let's go. The pups howled as they went to work. Sky hung up in the air with a helicopter while Chase put on his sirens and went north. Everest waited for Jake to get on the back of a snowmobile and drove off while Ryder followed suit, leaving a worried Daniel Johnson with a comforting Marshall who offered him a water bottle. 20 minutes had passed, but Chase had found no sign of the missing family members Only one of them had found in the past few minutes by Everett and Jake, who found one of the lost boys. Donald calling for his parents. Already they were heading back to Jake's cabin for Montre to look at him to make sure they wasn't hurt or dehydrated. Sniffing in the air again, Chase tried to get a scent of the humans, but there was nothing to go on.
Ryder, I spotted the mother. She just about a mile away from you to the left. Looks pretty tired too,
replied Sky on the comm channel.
Nice work, Sky. I'll hear that soon. Chase, anything on your end?
Asked Ryder. Negative, Ryder, sir, replied Chase. I'm going to activate my drone to see if I can cover more ground that way. He pushed the back pedal and halt and dropped out of the spy cruiser, heading to the back. The truck opened to reveal his drone optional controls. After activating his password, he pressed on the button. Off? Drone. His spy drone trotted out of the vehicle and flew into the forest and sprayed at the hummingbird. The drone's camera seemed anything he saw to Chase's video screen. Using his controls, he had the drone easily swept past the trees and under the bushes for any sign of the missing boy, George. He soon noticed something out of the corner of his eye, pulling the camera to leap to see a hunched figure near a tree. Zooming closer, he saw a little boy in a hiking gear, holding his knee with tears in his eyes. Got him! Cried out Chase as he activated his pup tag. Ryder, sir, I found George. He looks hurt though, so you better send Montre out here.
Good work, Chase. Do you hear that, Montre? Yep, I'm on my way.
Chase activated his spy drone to stay in place while he headed back to his seat before driving forward. However, Chase began to move. He saw on the right side of the screen that George was climbing up the tree as fast as possible, despite an looking pain. Chase's curiosity for the action was soon answered when the drone's camera spotted a bear roaring and coming closer to the tree. Oh no, replied Chase as he quickly recalled. Ryder, the bear is making way towards George.
Can you get to him in time?
Asked Ryder. Yeah, but I don't know how I'm going to find him the bear away, replied Chase.
Don't worry, I got an idea. Just hang tight, Chase,
cried out Sky, hoping his crutch could make it in time. Chase put his paw to the metal to speed things up. It didn't take long for Chase to arrive when the bear and George were. Luckily, the boy managed to reach the top of the tree despite his knee wound. Chase managed to get the bear's attention thanks to his sirens. But now facing the saved beast, which was growling at him. Thinking quickly, Chase barked, Net! Activating his net launcher, it fired its shot and landed on the bear, who roared in anger while trying to check it off. Sky, you coming with that plan? Asked Chase, knowing his net won't hold the bear off forever. Right on your six, Chase, said Sky, just as she flew overhead. Her chopper claw was already activated and carrying something. Using his goggles, Chase was able to zoom and notice it was a beehive. Wait, is that a beehive? Where are the... Oh! Not too far from Sky, right behind her tail, was a swarm of bees trying to chase down the lost honey. And release, shouted Sky as she let go of the hive. Bombs away! Just as the bear managed to get the net off, it felt something smack its head from above. Before tasting it all too familiar sweet taste, however, before he could enjoy it, the sting of a dozen angry bees, followed by even more the swarm caused him to yelp in pain. No longer caring about anything else, the bear ran away as fast as he could, with the swarm stingers behind him. Chase couldn't help but laugh at the sight, even he felt sorry for the poor bear. Nice work, Sky, yelled Chase from below. Thanks. That would teach that nasty bear how to behave. Am I right? Jerked Sky. Hey, I thought I was supposed to do the bad jokes, said Marshall as he drove up behind Chase. Hey, Sky, think you can bring George down so I can check him out? Sure thing. Harness, cried out Sky as she lowered her special harness. Marshall and Chase both got out of the vehicles and later contact wider. While the former waited by the tree, watching George calm down. Wider, sir, we got George safe and sound. Marshall's going to be giving him a check over.
Roger, Chase. I'll be there in 3 minutes,
replied Wider. Chase turned off his channel. Watch as Marshall got his equipment while waiting for George. Just as he's landed, Marshall's ears picked up. Hey, do you hear that? Hear what? Asked Chase, tilting his head. That sound. Kind of sound like a hiss. And that's when it came. It was like a lightning bolt that struck from the bushes nearby without anybody noticing it. Time seemed to slow down as something long, black, and mouth open wide struck with his fangs loose until it buried his bite deep into Marshall's neck. A scream erupted from Marshall unlike anything Chase had ever heard of. But in entrance, he tackled his best friend in Vine to save him. Gah! Screamed Marshall as the black snake held onto its bleeding neck, despite the Dalmatian attempts to shake him off. Get it off of me! Get it off of me! Marshall! Shouted Sky from above in terror as she watched below. George wondered what was happened, struggled back in fear. Chase, help him! Chase tried to bite the snake off, but it quickly unattached itself from Marshall and dodged the bite. Quickly drifting around its prey, it took another bite, this time right on Marshall's paw, uttering another howl. Only this time it was silenced by gaps of breath as Marshall hacked and coughed, his face slowly turning blue and his vines in his neck began to slow and turn purple. Chase screamed both in anger and depression as he dived again for the snake, caring less if he got bite if it stopped hurting his best friend. The snake dodged again, hissing as it taunting Chase, between Marshall's body shaking from the poison into his veins and the snake's silently moves. It was hard to catch the damn thing. This can get any worse. The snake bit a third time, this time right between Marshall's rear legs, where the generals were. Despite not even able to scream, the teary eyes and painful expiration of Marshall's puffing and hollowed eyes spoke of an unbearable pain. Roaring, Chase finally managed to grab the snake and toss it away, where it fled back to the wilderness. Marshall! Shouted Chase in fear as he walked over to his best friend and gasped in horror. The once joyful, shining face of Marshall was now one of tears and purple vines. His eyes were bloodshot as now dripped from the nose. In desperate attempt for air, his mouth forming and struggled to say anything while his eyes rolled back of his head. His body began to contract and shake as his wounds from the bites began to bleed, mixing with a small pool of urine below. Marshall, hang on! Marshall! Shouted a tear-eyed Sky as she watched to his side and tried to touch him, but Chase stopped her. Let me go! Let me go! No, the poison might get on you, shouted Chase, struggling to stop her from touching him no matter how much she fought and screamed with her tears falling down her face. Chase didn't even notice he was crying too, just as Wider arrived and watched towards Marshall, doing his best to handle this, but even looked at his face and spoke unconcernedly. What happened, Chase? Shouted Wido, demanding answer. A snake, black and quick. It went away. Shouted Chase, feeling a heartbeat increase as it became harder and harder to breathe. This isn't happening. This isn't happening. Looks for some antitoxin in Marshall's empty truck. Maybe he might have something that can help. I'll call 911. Shouted Wido, taking out his pup pad. Chase dropped Sky, who watched towards Marshall's side. He made a mad dash like never before to the MTV and smashed it open, pushing away anything just something for the snake bites. Come on, damn it! Where is it? Don't you dare die, Marshall! Don't you dare die! Thought Chase repeatedly, but no matter how hard he searched, he couldn't find anything. He watched out to where Wido and Sky were and said, Sir, I can't find any. We should. He stopped, pausing as he noticed the faces of disbelief and tears of sorrow. He slowly turned to Marshall, who had stopped struggle and now laying on his back, and his leg twitching every few seconds. His eyes were now fully up, his chest not even raising once. It took Chase a full 30 seconds to realize his best friend and the whole world was dead. Marshall, get up. Come on, get up, whispered Sky, tears falling down her cheeks as she struggled to smile. This isn't funny. Joke's over. You can stop playing dead. Sky, whispered Wido as he slowly ran to place his hand on her head, but she snapped at him to force him back. Don't touch me! Screamed Sky, her eyes wide with both fear and anger. He's not dead. He won't leave me. He won't separate himself from me. Not like this. Chase froze upon hearing this. Not my Marshall. Not my Marchie, whispered Sky. She began to crumble and lean back. Not him. Unable to take it anymore, she fainted and Wido caught her, screaming her name. Chase didn't do anything but stay frozen and stare at Marshall's painful look, desecrated face. He wished they would be separated. He wished for something to break them apart. Something did. The only thing that break anything together, something that never could fix. Death. Death tore up his friends apart, and Chase had caused it to happen. Chase, feeling barrel eggs in his mouth, turned away and began to puke as it mixed with his tears, and as he realized what he had done. He lost his best friend, and his paws were stained with his blood.